what was it like for you to want to do things in Wichita, Kansas? That's a small town, right? I mean, it's not that big, right? And to want to play football and to do things, but being part of a big family, were there some struggles? Were there other sports you wanted to play? Were there things sometimes that held you back from doing the things you need to do as a kid because you were helping, with your family?
Well, for me, I wouldn't say there were really things that held me back. I mean, sports-wise, activity-wise, whatever could get me out of the house, doing something productive, then my parents were all for it. So I was always outside running, playing, jumping, playing with friends. And from a pretty early age, I was playing sports, basketball and track and football.
I saw you really liked basketball, but your dad wanted you to play football?
Well, no, I mean, he knew I was a football player. I guess I thought I was a hooper, know.
Thought you were like Isaiah Thomas.
I thought I was a hooper.
Through. Yeah, okay.
But he knew I was a football player. And so I think that was more so it. But I played all those, growing up and so I was always very active as far as that, and really, I started playing organized football when I was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. But I was an avid follower of college.
How good were you
high
at 9?
School? And
were you one of the best players on the team at 9?
My first year, I believe I was.
Okay.
My first year I was. It's funny because my first game ever, I was playing with a team called the Beach Red Barons, and I'm pretty sure the first game I played in some Chuck Taylors.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's hard to run out there, Chuck Taylors.
I played in some Chuck Taylors. So I had a great game, a couple touchdowns, whatever, some good tackles. And so I was able to convince my dad after that to go and buy me some cleats. After they were actually some juice mobiles.
Juice mobiles.
My spot built, and obviously they were named after OJ.
Yep.
The Juice, who
another great running back.
He was amazingly popular in the 70s, what have you. So I think that first year I had a really good year, and then years following that it was kind of some really good years, some not so good years, but the first year was very good.
You competed, I would assume, sometimes with your brothers to see who would be more athletic. I'm sure you played some sports against them. Were you the fastest?
Oh, no. Well, I have a brother. I have two older brothers. Mm-hmm. Byron is just a year older, right? But growing up, he looked like he was like 5 or 6 years older than me. And then my oldest brother, Boyd, is like 8 years older. So Byron and I were always together. I was always sort of following him around the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And whatever he did, that's what I did, so oftentimes that involved playing football with the older boys, and so that's really, that was really sort of my first taste of playing football, just, being there in whatever vacant lot we found or someone's yard, and just being with the older boys, trying to fit in with them basically. But as far as the fastest, no, obviously, at that age, a 2 or 3 year difference is very obvious and makes a big difference. So no, I was just one of the younger kids trying to follow the older boys.
So you think at that age, and I like to reemphasize this on the show all the time. A lot of the listeners, they get stuck in spots or they feel like, oh, I don't have talent or I don't have the skill set. And here you are. You've got 2 older brothers, you join a team and you're lights out. You're great your first game. But I asked, are you a little faster than your brothers? Like, no, probably not. You're young. But you had this competitive advantage and you had this hunger, obviously, to play. And I'm sure your brothers had that as well. But when you went out on that football field, you did good your first year. Point to that is you didn't know you were going to be that good. And you went out there. Is it a competitive insight that you have? Was it natural talent? What do you think really gave you an edge when you were on that first year, even at 9, to be different than some of the other kids?
Well, I had a passion and a love for the game.
Yeah.
And you couldn't keep me away from the game. I mean, I was always watching it, and I was always playing it, whether at recess or after school or at practice.
You couldn't get enough, right?
I could not. Or if I wasn't doing that, I was playing my electric football game.
Okay.
You know, so
yeah. Is that what the little things that move around?
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely,
I remember that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was my sort of video game, or Madden football. But yeah, that was, so the game, it was something about the game that just kind of took a hold of me.
It was a why. You were passionate about it. It was something that you hooked on.
I just loved it. Yeah. And I have to give Dad credit. I mean, he was an avid football fan.
Yep.
And you just mentioned the fact that I'm one of 11. Well, he's just a working guy. He had season tickets to Oklahoma Sooner football, and he always tells a story that in the early 70s, whenever they raised the tickets and he had one too many kids, he had to give up his season tickets, but he was a serious fan. And so that's where a lot of it comes from. And so, yeah, I mean, I couldn't get enough of it. I loved the Raiders. That was my favorite NFL team, but
everybody liked the silver and black when they were young.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was the cool uniform.
I guess. Yeah. And plus they were always winning back then.
yeah. They had good teams back then.
Yeah, they were always winning. But whether it was high school ball or college ball or pro ball, I just loved it. Loved it.
You came into high school and you played, and a lot of people know your story. You came in, I think, as a cornerback starting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then converted over to running back. Was that was that coach there in high school one of the mentors for you to really take things to the next level? Who were some of your mentors along the way? Was it high school? Was it, I know your dad was, but was it high school? Was it college? Who kind of helped mold the direction you ended up going?
Yeah, I would say high school coach. Well, my junior year, you as you mentioned, I was still playing defensive back, which I mean, for me, I just loved playing the game.
Yeah.
Right. So I was obviously still growing into myself, and coming into my own, I guess you could say. And so I loved playing the game. My junior year, I was starting defensive back. My brother was a starting running back. And after my junior year, the longtime coach retires and goes to athletic director, hires the new coach. And the new coach, he comes in and just with a completely different mindset and attitude. Just a fun-loving guy, a lot of quirky sayings. It's great to be young, alive, and a Redskin. That was our mascot. I know that's controversial, sort of controversial now, but he just had a whole different philosophy. And so, he's the one that after the fourth game of my senior year said, no, I think we're going to make Sanders a running back. I think it's actually the third game, but he was like, yeah, we're going to make Sanders a running back. He's an okay defensive back, but I think he's put on earth to be a running back. And that's
your senior year.
That's my senior year.
Were you already getting looks your junior year as a corner?
I wasn't getting any looks. I thought I was a pretty good defensive back, honestly. But
I would have loved to seen you pick one off and do a little shift to take it to the house.
No, I love the contact.
Yep.
And I loved just everything about being a corner. And like for a small guy, relatively small kid, I mean, that was a good place to be if you were athletic.
Yeah.
And I was sort of the kick returner type guy, but Coach Burkholder came in and
put you in there
and put me at running back, and really the rest is history. But he's a guy. Actually, he's a friend to this day. I mean, we still talk.
So cool.
And get together and things like that. He loved being around kids. You knew that was where he really wanted to be. It wasn't a chore. He loved football.
Yep. He was passionate like you were. That's what you guys had.
That's what he was.
He shared the
That's
passion.
what he was. He was passionate about it. He had been around some great players because he had coached at junior college in Kansas, and he had been around Mike Rozier and Ron Springs and a couple guys like that. And so for me, that was very fascinating. And another thing he would do the day of the game, he would show these videos of great running backs that had played in the Big 8 conference. Now it's the Big 12.
Right.
And one of those running backs was Billy Sims, right? And all those great Oklahoma Sooner running backs.
But he would show highlights. Billy Sims, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Billy Sims, Barry Switzer, anything Oklahoma Sooners. But he would show us those highlights day of the game. And it was just great inspiration for me as an aspiring running back. to see that footage. And it was just more sort of excitement and just something I always remember to get hyped up for the high school games.
One thing that you just shared here, and I talk about this all the time, is we hit pivotal points in our life where I believe there's no such thing as a wrong decision. That's what I always tell people. Look, whatever decision, when you come to a crossroad, whatever you decide, it's the right decision as long as you're all in on it. You can't look backwards. Once you look backwards, now it's the wrong decision. You're second guessing it. But people we meet, relationships we have, different things can change our entire life. Imagine if he didn't make you the running back. Think about,
right.
He saw something, let's put him at running back, and it did, and the rest is history. And there's always different pivotal moments. And I'm sure there's games and then times in college that every step we make, every day that we get up and we take part in that day, those decisions affect the rest of our life. Now, we don't want to scare ourselves and go, everything I do is going to change everything, but it really does. People we meet, relationships, everything changes everything for your whole path that God has for you. That's what you believe. Like, that is your path, and you have to make those decisions. So what's really cool is here you are. I go back to in my business, like, oh, there was this pivotal moment when I met this guy and did this, or, oh, I decided to take a chance on that. Where if I didn't, where would I be today? That's a spot right there that at least I'm seeing as a fan and doing this interview is like, look, if he didn't make you the running back, what then? You said you were getting no looks. You became the running back and off to the races.